Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with another video. Today we have another Ring of Honor review for you guys today. This is the second time I've had to do this because the first couple of times I did this, did that first take, I kept saying pay-per-view. This is not a pay-per-view. This is another house show. This comes the day after the last Ring of Honor event I reviewed, which was the Hunt for Gold. Today we have Defy or Deny 2. We have Kevin Steen, Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, and Roderick Strong on the cover, which is the main event. This happened, of course, on January 19th, 2013. There's the spine. And, of course, there's the back. There's the matches that we're going to go through right there. So have a quick look, and then we'll get right to the action. I might just leave it like that for a minute. Anyway, we kicked off the show with, of course, Adam Cole versus Silas Young in a proving ground matchup. This was pretty decent opener. Very fast paced. Looked like plenty of times that Silas Young could have had this in the bag and earned himself a television championship shot, but it wasn't to be because, of course, he was in his hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and of course, the wrestling rule is probably 90% of the time is whoever's in the hometown usually loses. So, yeah, this was to be the case with Silas Young, as he would lose to Adam Cole on this very night. Solid opener, awesome stuff, good start. Let's move on to the next match, which was, of course, Bobby Fish versus Tremedius Thomas right there. This was okay. It was very slow paced, it kind of brought down the crowd after the very solid opener. But it was an okay matchup. Tremedius Thomas was coming off the loss to Kevin Steen for the World Championship at the Hunt for Gold event. And of course, Bobby Fish was going to be challenging for the tag team titles at the 11th anniversary show. Him and Kyle O'Reilly against the Briscoes. So you kind of obviously knew who was going to win here. Bobby Fish, of course, picking up the victory. It was an alright match, but it didn't really do much for me. It was pretty average. And let's move on to the next match, which was, of course, Charlie Haas versus Red Titus. Just making sure that this card was actually in order. Anyway, we had Charlie Haas versus Red Titus in a grudge match. This was another alright matchup. Charlie Haas had taken out BJ Whitmer in December with a serious neck injury that BJ Whitmer was still fighting through, as you can see right there. BJ Whitmer's in action. But yeah, Red Titus was BJ Whitmer's tag team partner at this point, and he wanted a bit of revenge. And the story of the match was much more interesting than the match itself. The story of the match was that Red Titus, even though he wanted revenge on Charlie Haas for injuring BJ Whitmer's neck, he kind of lacked the aggression. And the commentators kept pointing it out like he hasn't got, he lacks the killer instinct to put Charlie Haas, the veteran, away. And that's what ended up factoring in to Charlie Haas picking up the victory here, as Red Titus was hesitant to finish Charlie Haas, and Charlie Haas rolled him up and got the pin. So yeah, it was a decent matchup, but yeah, the story of the match was kind of better than the actual match itself. Anyway, moving on to the next match, we had a 6-man tag team match. We had Scum, Steve Corino, Jimmy Jacobs, and Rhino taking on the Briscoe brothers and Jay Lethal in the continuation of the war between Scum and Ring of Honor. This was a very fun 6-man tag team matchup. Loved the Briscoes and loved Jay Lethal was awesome too. Good heel work from Steve Corino as he riled up the crowd by threatening to fuck all their women. Great stuff, I guess. This was pretty fun stuff, and it was the first time in over, I think Steve Corino said first time in over 12 years that him and Rhino were a team. They were a team in ECW. And here they are teaming up in 2013, so pretty cool stuff right there. Of course, Rhino would pick up the victory for his team, pinning Mark Briscoe with the gore, after Mark Briscoe did a little bit of kung fu, did his, chicken kung fu, and he got caught with the gore and got pinned. Pretty solid stuff, awesome, pretty solid stuff, really fun tag team matchup. As we move on to the next matchup, which was Matt Hardy versus BJ Whitmer in a special challenge match. So basically the gist of this match was Matt Hardy was complaining that he wanted a television title shot against Adam Cole because he knocked off Adam Cole, because he pinned Adam Cole at the Final Battle pay-per-view in December. So he wanted a TV title shot, and now Jim McGuinness said he had to earn a title shot to get the title shot. And so he wanted to go through BJ Whitmer here, and of course BJ was coming off the neck injury in December at the Final Battle pay-per-view. So Matt Hardy whipped the neck over BJ Whitmer, and he kicked out of a couple Twist of Fates, but of course at the end of the day, Matt Hardy would lock in the ice pick, kind of guillotine with the arms, as you know, with the arms as well. And you know, BJ did not tap. Red Titus came in and threw in the towel, which was very effective because he kind of teased that, you know, kind of because BJ and Red Titus were a team, but BJ kind of they were teasing dissension. Like BJ did not want him to throw in the towel, and they had a little bit of an argument after the match because BJ wanted to continue, but they stopped the match in safety of the competitor, which I'm all for. You know, it's pretty good stuff. So pretty cool storylines, and it sets up future potential storylines down the line as we go through this Ring of Honor 2013 schedule. So pretty cool stuff. Next match we had Davey Richards versus Kyle O'Reilly. Oh yeah, by the way, after the match, Matt Hardy and Adam Cole had a stare down, and Matt Hardy hit him with the belt and stole the belt, basically. Anyway, next match we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Davey Richards in a grudge match. This was a student versus mentor match, like the student versus the teacher match. Davey Richards was, of course, Kyle O'Reilly's mentor for a long time before Bobby Fish came into the company, and Kyle O'Reilly went with Bobby Fish and turned on Davey Richards and aligned himself with Bobby Fish. So this was kind of like a grudge, you know, as you can imagine, it was a grudge match, and it was a pretty fucking awesome grudge match. You know, these two men brought it, and, you know, Kyle O'Reilly and Davey, they beat the shit out of each other, very hard, stiff action, very hard, you know, very, you know, stiff forearms and kicks, and, you know, plenty of times like, ooh, you know, ooh, damn. And, yeah, pretty cool stuff, and Dave Richards was able to pick up the victory, knocking off Kyle O'Reilly in this very intense grudge match. And, yeah, pretty good victory, good stuff right there. And of course, we had the main event, the Defy or Deny elimination matchup. We had the world champion Kevin Steen taking on Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, and Roderick Strong in a Defy or Deny elimination match. Basically, the gist of this was, of course, if you haven't seen my previous Defy or Deny review, which was Masters of the Craft 2018. Basically the Defy or Deny stipulation is it's the champion against 3 challengers in a non-title match. If the champion wins the match in the elimination match, if he wins the match, then whoever he pins last or beats last in the challenger does not get another opportunity for the championship until the champion is no longer the champion. So basically, like, if Steen wins, whoever he pins last could not get a title shot as long as Steen is the champion. That makes sense? And then, of course, if any of the 3 challengers win, they get the next shot available at the champion, because Kevin Steen was already had a challenger set up already against Jay Lethal at the 11th anniversary show. So if one of these 3 won, they would get an opportunity after the 11th anniversary show. I hope that makes sense. Anyhow, no need to worry about that one because Kevin Steen won. Yeah, this was a great match, another great match, a great main event. Kevin Steen would pull off the victory, pinning Eddie Edwards, so Eddie Edwards couldn't get a title shot as long as Kevin Steen is the ROH World Champion, with a vicious package power driver on the apron. Awesome stuff. Big thumbs up to this match. Solid stuff. Of course, Michael Elgin and Roderick Strong were having a feud at this point, coming off Final Battle And of course, going into the 11th anniversary show, I think they would have like a 2 out of 3 falls match, if I'm not mistaken, which I will cover in a future video. Yeah, this was a very fun match. Can't say anything bad about it. Kevin Steen would go on to be victorious, and would deny Eddie Edwards a future title shot. So no title shot to Eddie Edwards as long as Steen is a champion. Almost called him Kevin Owens there. As long as Steen is the champion, Eddie Edwards cannot have another title shot, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Awesome stuff in just total. It was another solid show, another solid house show for Ring of Honor. This, as I said, this came the day after Hunt for Gold, so 2 back-to-back solid house shows. I'm going to give this another 8 out of 10. And yeah, solid show. Big thumbs up to this event. Just it was a very, very nicely paced wrestling show, and it put me in a whole lot better mood than I was yesterday after watching the Royal Rumble 2011. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it now, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Leave me a like if I deserve it, and have a nice rest of Sunday. Have a nice Sunday evening / afternoon, whatever time of the day it is. And I'll see you guys later. Have a nice day, and I'm out.